Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly tarot reading. Okay, so pretty good cards overall. Let me see here. Okay, so the first energy that is coming in is there's something coming in from the past, and we have the Knight of Swords. It's something that you have to deal with, and the Knight of Swords is charging backwards into a previous time in which the problem arose, and it was never properly dealt with, or it was basically the other person never got to say their piece. Either the other person never found closure, or you never were able to give that person in the past a piece of your mind. So an opportunity is coming in here, and you're charging forward, and you're trying to tell that person as it is. And the energy here is it's coming in very strongly and very quickly, like towards the beginning of this month. And I feel that for the first week as well, you might be able to find a resolution within this issue from the past if you take a very grounded and a very methodical approach. Okay, so don't rush in too fast, because you're operating from a place of pure instinct and pure, like, I guess it's like self-preservation. So you're rushing into this a little too hot-headedly, and it might backfire on you. And I do feel that for most of you, this might be like a former lover that you've dealt with in the past. It could be somebody within your household or somebody you used to live with. So it's someone who you once had a very close, a very connected interpersonal relationship with, okay? The only thing I would say is you do have the Moon card in the reverse position here. It indicates that in the past you were never able to deal with this issue, mainly because you didn't have all the information. And timing itself, the Moon is a big card for timing as well. And this indicates not just like a karmic time, but rather like cosmic time. So the differences between the two is indicative of, sometimes the right healing has to take place, or the right amount of detachment from that situation or from that person has to take place in order for the other person and for yourself to gain enough clarity and enough, I guess, to ground yourself enough so that you can approach the situation in a different way, so that you can detach yourself and look at the situation with a little more objectivity. Okay, with the Knight of Swords, sword court cards indicate somebody who's very level-headed. It is somebody who is very methodical as well. As a knight energy, though, they might be too methodical to a fault. They might say, the things that they need to say or that they need to get off their chest without too much like thoughts to how the other person would react. And it's in the spirit of getting at the truth, but in a very blunt and in a somewhat hurtful, insensitive type of way. All right, you are an air sign, so I believe if this is somebody that you're dealing with, basically, old problems are being dragged back in, like being like dug up from the past, and you're going to have to deal with it. And I don't feel that the energy is going to permeate throughout the rest of this month, mainly because it's coming in so early on in this month that it's going to be dealt with, and then you move on. And a lot of the other cards here indicate that you will have a lot of success moving on, and you will have a lot better energy like coming in for the rest of this month. So take the first few days of the month and try to approach this in a very rational manner. The only thing that I could say is you're finally getting that chance to appease your mind, because you're able to express yourself in a way to the other person, or about that other situation from the past, so that you can finally find closure and move forward. As a result of this, I do feel that if it is a family relationship, or a lover, or like a business partner even, I do feel that there are going to be very profound, very fundamental changes within the dynamic of that situation. So moving forward, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. For those of you who have dealt with this situation in the past, you're going to decide that it's not worth it, and you're moving forward. For a lot of you, though, what I do see is it's like it's sort of like a huge, I guess, like bump in the road in order for you to repair this relationship or this friendship or business partnership. So, for a lot of you, though, I do feel that the other person is promising you that they are willing to put in the effort to repair the situation. As for what you decide to do, I do feel that you're going to tell them that in order to do that, they're going to have to prove themselves. Okay, so they're going to, you're not putting up with the lip service anymore. You do want to see concrete evidence that they're willing to put the work in. Especially for female Sagittarius, I do feel that, if this is a romantic partner, especially from the past, and you're dealing with a male partner, I do feel that he is willing to put in the work, and he's willing to show you that, he's all action this time. So I would say this person is genuine, and you can't take them back. If you are a male Sagittarius, and or you are a Sagittarius that is not dealing with a male partner, what I would say is I see very strongly that you're the one that has to put in a lot of the effort here, and you're going to be very well received, though, and you're doing it not out of a sense of like personal responsibility or anything, but you feel that this is you feel how beneficial it is to fully invest the time and to invest the actions into sustaining this relationship. So what I do sense is, in general, it's going to be kind of like an agreement between both parties in which, we do this all the way or we don't do it at all. So all or nothing at this point. And for those of you, it's sort of like if it's a family situation, it's sort of like, okay, let's just give it one last shot. We've exhausted all possibilities in the past. So the reasonable thing to do is to give it our all so that we can move forward from this and just never have to look back. Okay, so I do feel like, in general, the first week of this month is going to be a very rewarding. I would say a lot of information will come to light, and you would be able to find resolution. At least, both of you are coming, both parties are coming to the same conclusion that, there needs to be some work in order to maintain this relationship, because the way things have been going are not to anybody's benefit. So there is a sense of resolution, there is a sense of camaraderie. And like what I do sense here with the Lovers in the reverse position, it might indicate a relationship. If it's a romantic relationship, it might be a relationship that transcends just the physical aspect of it, which is really good, because you have temperance underneath, excuse me. So it indicates to me that, this relationship itself is growing in emotional depth. So it's not just the physicality of the relationship or the physical chemistry anymore. Both parties have decided, that it is time to be exclusive, if for those of you who are, in that relationship. And for those of you who are still dating, or just, trying to, I guess, find a middle ground and trying to figure out what qualities that you really want in a potential partner, I feel that a lot of the information right now, it's time to make decisions. It's time to really narrow down on what it is that you really want moving forward from the people you're interacting with. If you don't want to see them anymore, if you want to be exclusive, and what qualities it is that makes you, wanting a long-term stable relationship. For those of you who might be dealing with a business partner or a family member, the same energy applies. So there's going to be a hashing out of differences. And I do feel that, a lot of things are just being thrown out, like all this deep buried emotional baggage from the past are being just coming to light, and they're just like glaring. And it's going to take a lot of maturity, which I feel, towards the end of this month. This energy here is it's very stable, and it would suggest that both sides are trying to really work this out, find a resolution, and leave the past behind for good. So overall, I would say, just this is a very mature way of handling it. And I do suggest that for those of you who, this information is coming to light now, really try to work at it, okay? Don't abandon things, because I feel that it is kind of like a last shot type of deal. So invest your all into it, and I feel that the partner will reciprocate as well, okay? Let me see. So let's look at the second row here. And you have really, really good energies. The moon in the reverse position is a little more objectivity. So this is a very good card to get in reverse, because the moon in the upright position indicates like intuition. And following your intuition is good, granted that you have very keen insights and very sharp intuition. However, when it comes to people that are unhealthy for you, or things in your life that you should you have a penchant for, that are not conducive to your own growth and development, it's good to have this card in the reverse, because you're a little more objective about the situation. You're able to be a little more analytical, and you're seeing the long-term ramifications. If you were to cling on to these unhealthy behaviors, you know that in the long run, how your life would plan out. So with the Temperance card here, it is the card of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, in general, have a very, I guess, like a expansive view. They do see the big picture. Well, you guys do tend to see the big picture. So you're letting go of a lot of old habits and old ways of behaving, and you're cutting out people from your past as well. Mainly because you know that in the long run, it is much better for you. So I do feel here that there is a little bit of, I guess, like, I wouldn't say soul searching, because I feel at this point, that starting with the beginning of the month, you already know what you have to do. But looking at the bigger picture allows you to really plan out for the future what it is that you should invite into your life, so that you can have a better, more fulfilling future for yourself, okay? So it's sort of like a process in which, you weed out things from the past, and then moving forward into the future, you're going to be more discriminate in your screening process to allow the right things to come into your life, and to weed out the wrong things that might potentially try to come in. So that is a really very mature way of looking at this, and also like dealing with life in general, which is I feel like a lot more peace and confidence for you Sagittarius. With the King of Pentacles in the reverse position too, I do sense that for those of you, especially in a romantic partnership with an Earth sign, a Virgo, Capricorn, or a Taurus, a lot of you are getting the support that you need from this Earth sign. And for those of you who are dealing with this person as a family, relationship, or as a business partnership, I feel that in general, this person will give you a lot of good insights about how to address issues within the family and issues within your interpersonal relationship, okay? So this is a man full of wisdom, but he doesn't impose his wisdom on other people. He or she, he or she does not impose their wisdom on other people. They sit back, and when the time is right, when you want to come to them for advice, or when you need their help, they're always there. So they're very, very reliable. And I do see this is a very stabilizing presence in your life. So this is a very positive energy to get into your life. And especially for others who might be dealing with a Pisces in your past, or one of your relationships might be with a Pisces, a problematic relationship that you've had with a Pisces. I would say that the main thing is draw very clear boundaries with this person, because I do feel that they're lacking a little bit of a sense of identity. So they don't know where they end and others begin. So they might like overimpose themselves, and they might basically they try to impose their values and their beliefs onto other people, and it might grate on your nerves, so you really don't appreciate that. Because I know Sagittarius are very live and let live, kind of like this guy. You know, he's always there when you need him, but he doesn't try to he takes a step back and he realizes when, you know, he respects other people's boundary. So you have this dichotomy between earth and water here, which is the right balance here too. And one of the main important lesson that I feel is reinforced here is this same earth and water element, in which earth maintains healthy boundaries. Water is fluid. It morphs into whatever, you know, shape of the container it's in. So it's sort of like it's lacking in its ability to define itself and to draw clear boundaries. And then you have temperance, which is a mixture of earth and water here. So what I do sense here is very strongly, in order for, this is your card, so I'm going to approach this as a lesson for Sagittarius, or something that can go a long way for Sagittarius for this month, okay? It is really important to maintain clear boundaries with other people. There are times that you're going to feel that, especially if you're dealing with like family members or people you love, or any type of a relationship that you have in your life, there might be times in which you feel you want to impose yourself on other people, or you want to give advice when the other person never asked for it, and you want to you see what they're doing wrong, and you kind of want to take control because you feel that they're doing wrong and that they're heading down the wrong path. But at the same time, it is not your place, mainly because it is the other person's life and you have to learn to respect their decisions, okay? So a lot about growing up is just maintaining healthy boundaries between yourself and others. And I do see this theme is greatly reinforced in this reading. So with loved ones, try to do that. With family members, for those of you who are watching this, with children especially, I do sense like parents and children type of relationships in which if you're a Sagittarius with children, try to really let your child or your kids grow into themselves. It's good for you to give them guidance, okay? But take a very, I wouldn't say, you know, don't succumb to child neglect or anything like that. But you do have to take a back seat and let your child grow into his or her own and make decisions for his or herself. Because what I do sense here is a tendency to over assert yourself in situations in which it's unwarranted, and you're asserting yourself maybe in a bit of a forceful manner. So then, you know, it causes like rifts between relationships, and then it prevents the other person from ever coming to you for help because they feel overpowered. They feel that you can't really respect or trust their ability to make decisions for themselves. So they feel belittled, they feel overlooked, and so they, you know, it does hurt their pride and their own sense of self-confidence. So then it would prevent them from coming to you in the future. So learn to hold back, okay? It's a difficult thing to do when we're so emotionally invested in the other person, but it's important to know where you end and others begin as well. So what I do sense here is we have these three cards that are very, very positive cards. So this person is definitely taking a step back and waiting for things to come. And it's so in general, what I do see the theme for this month, and in general, the second, third, and fourth week, the last 3 weeks of the month especially, there is more of a laid back approach. So life is not going to be as hectic anymore for you guys. And at the same time, what I do sense is there's a sense of serenity overcoming your house environment and your relationship situation. That is bringing a lot of clarity and peace, and it's bringing like a sense of calm, okay? And it's a very genuine sense of calm, because in between the Temperance card, we have Strength and Pentacle, the King of Pentacles. And these are very like stable, grounded, and I guess like kind of like dormant energy. With the strength card, strength is as much about physical, emotional, mental strength as it is about patience. So this indicates to me too, in a work situation, you know, you're happily doing the work, even though the work might be a little tedious and might be a little dry and boring, but it seems almost as if there's a little, you know, skip in your step. Like you're actually finding great joy in doing repetitive work, and you're finding great joy in the stability of your life at this point. So I feel most of you should be very happy in a working environment now, because things are starting to gel and stabilize for you. So the advice here is basically, you know, keep at it, because you're on the right path and you're doing things in a very level-headed manner. So this is a very good card here. And for those of you who might have like, so work is going to be different than, you know, finance. Work will bring you the financial abundance, but at the same time, what I do feel in this situation, this is also a card of finance. I feel that within the past 3 months too, finances have been a little rocky, mainly because I feel that there are a lot of unplanned expenses that where you know it drains your resources. But this month you're like finally getting a grip on it, and you're basically not you have a better control of the flow of money, and you feel very good and confident that money is not going to be an issue moving on into the future. So overall, the energy itself looks very, very promising and very good. The only thing I would say is patience is going to be required this month, okay? In dealing with partners, in dealing with any type of interpersonal relationship in which there are differences in opinion, and especially situations from the past when there has been like a falling out, things are definitely repairable, and you're going to have to learn to put yourself in other people's shoes and practice a little more patience, and the ability to sit back and take the back seat on this rather than forging ahead, okay? So that energy is going to dissipate very, very quickly the beginning of this week, this Knight of Swords energy, excuse me. This Knight of Swords energy in which he's rushing in, but he's rushing in to solve situations from the past so that the present can be stable and can be a little more fruitful and conducive for healthy relationships in general. So, let me see if there's anything else I've left out. Okay, so finances, love. Okay, so for those of you who are single too, I do feel that in general, for those of you who are single and looking, because that's the juicy bits anyways. So I would definitely say that if you are approached by an earth sign, you know, this person is very genuine, and you can actually learn a lot about yourself and about the other person, and about how to manage relationships in general from this person, because he or she is taking a very laid back approach. But deep down, you know, this person is very reliable, and this is a very stabilizing force in your life, and it's able to, because this person is always there, like is very reliable, and they're always there when you need them. They allow your emotional, I guess the emotions within yourself to stabilize as well. So they provide a stable surrounding, which in terms stabilize your emotions. Okay, so this is a very positive card here. If you have someone like that in your midst, this is a total keeper right here. At the same time, for those of you who are dealing with another fire sign, especially a Leo, this is another very stable force in your life. This person is not afraid of getting their hands dirty, is what I'm sensing. They want to approach problems, and they want to tackle things from the root. They want to get to the root of the matter, and, you know, clean up the mess, and to basically solve problems by addressing the root of the problems, rather than, you know, putting a band-aid over it and letting it fester unseen. So you've got really positive people in your life at this moment, okay? Even the air sign too, like the people in your midst are very stabilizing influence, and in general. And another thing too with the Knight of Swords, this is a card of defense. It looks like it's offense, but it's also like in a spread where it does not relate to an air sign, but rather more of an energy. It could also indicate somebody coming to your rescue, okay? And I feel greatly that with the moon card in the reverse position, I do sense that you are emotionally, you might be a little rattled, and this is, you know, the residual energy, especially from November, not November, I'm sorry, from from last month. So this is March, even January to March. What I do sense is like residual energy that was never properly dealt with. You weren't able to fully, I guess, articulate the way you feel, and you weren't able to defend yourself. And this person is coming in and has defended you in the past as well. Okay, so that is very good energy, and in general, it's a positive reading. So I do hope that it was going to be a very fruitful month for you guys. At least, you know, you're finding a lot of peace and a lot of nurturing in your environment and with the people around you. So I know that the past few months have been difficult. So this is the first month in which you can sit back and you don't have to worry so much that things will go wrong, because in general you have like a more peaceful frame of mind, and you're able to forge ahead with a lot more clarity and a lot more wisdom in general. So I will try very, very hard to come back next Sunday with the weekly readings. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you next week.